Hey you guys, we are back with another video once again. This one I wanted to talk about the process of creation, also known as manifestation, if you're familiar with this term in the spiritual community. But it's a way to kind of understand the concept behind how we actually go about creating the world that is around us. So for some of us, we come to the understanding that everything in the world, our surroundings, our environment, is all created by us. Created by our thoughts. And this can be very difficult to understand because we don't see it happening in real time. We believe that, okay, if my thoughts were to create my environment around me, then I should be able to see the fruits of my labor occurring. But they don't. Because you might be tempted to think about a large amount of money falling from the sky, raining down on your head, and then you never have to worry about finances for the rest of your life. And so you may think about this concept, but then nothing happens, and so you get disappointed. And for some people, there's many tricks as to how manifestation occurs. Some people see success, some people see failure. So it's an inconsistent model when it comes to manifestation that because of this inconsistency, it's very difficult for people to understand and utilize in their life. So instead, the way you can think about it is to think about manifestation in terms of people, in terms of humans. Because it's easier for you to see something in a tangible, physical, perceivable way in the 3D reality that we live in. And the easiest way to see that would be in the form of a person, a human that you come across. So for example, some people may be looking for opportunities to make money. And then so they get a call from, let's say, someone who wants to hire them and offer them a full-time salary. But the full-time salary comes from a person. It comes from someone that's going to act as their boss. And so their creation, their manifestation, takes form in the form of a person. Some people may be trying to find love. And so they go about creating and manifesting this desire, and eventually it may appear to them in the form of a pet, like a dog or a cat or a turtle. Not necessarily has to be a relationship with a person. Some people want to manifest freedom. And so they manifest not having any responsibilities. They may start losing things in their life that were kind of constricting them. For example, maybe they had a job that they hated and all of a sudden they got laid off from it. That is again a manifestation of the desire for freedom. Because if you're manifesting, let's say, freedom, but a job is keeping you constricted, then the only thing that's stopping you from achieving freedom is hanging on to your job. So when we think about it from this perspective, then we can see how all the people around us, living entities, are forms of our creation, of our manifestation. And what's interesting is the second part, which I just recently discovered when I was introspecting on this, which is that your creations also have the power to create things on their own. So, for example, the easiest way to think about this is that if you're a parent and you have a child, so you are able to create the child, the son or the daughter, and as this creation of yours grows up and lives in this world, it also acquires the ability to create things on their own merit. So the child goes and acquires experiences in their daily life. And the child also then starts to have their own desires, saying they want, let's say, more fun, more friends, more enjoyment in their life. And so they start manifesting as well. They start manifesting having a best friend to play with. They start manifesting, good weather so that they can go outside and just run around on the grass. And so it's important to realize that your manifestations, your creations, hold the same power, the same ability to manifest as you do. And so this is where the concept of respecting free will comes in, and is the reason why it's the most, if you follow the work of extraterrestrials, they'll basically hire beings that live in higher dimensions. They say that the one thing they cannot intrude upon is free will, which you can kind of perceive as they can't prevent you from creating something. So they can't prevent you from manifesting, let's say, a child. And in essence, you also want to respect your creation's will. So you can't prevent them, your creation, from also manifesting something. Otherwise, you're kind of, if they did, then it's kind of like robbing yourself of the ability to create. It wouldn't be fair in that sense if you were to create something and you told your creation that it was not allowed to create. Because then now it's not a fully autonomous being, it's basically just a prisoner. And so what you've created is a slave. You don't really want, say, whatever it is that you're creating. You just want a slave, a prisoner, someone that listens to you. And so that's why it's important to give it, the creation, the freedom to also express itself and evolve the way that it wants to evolve. Because it is also an aspect of creation. And so it also needs to understand and fully explore its own capabilities. Otherwise, it's just a prisoner. So this is why some things don't work out, even though they may be your creation or your manifestation. Because you can go about creating, let's say, a best friend, and the two of you end up getting along really well for a couple of years. But then eventually you find yourself kind of having a falling out, and you don't really get along that well. And eventually what happens as the time goes on, you go your separate ways. That's because your friend, whom you created using your own manifestation abilities, wants to also start to explore and acquire experiences on their own. And so there must be a splitting apart in order for your creation to fully come into understanding and utilization of its own powers and capabilities. And we're going to end this video off by also going into the fact that if you, as a human being, are able to create other human beings simply through the the power of your thoughts, and the ability to manifest, what does that mean for everyone around you that you see? Well, it means that every being that you see around you is also in some way, they are your creation, and they are also creating at the same time. So this is how you can sometimes see, sometimes you will encounter situations that do not seem to serve any purpose in benefiting you. Or you will meet certain people who are just terrible to get along with. And this is because they're acting as a sort of a guide, a lesson, a teacher, to save you the trouble of having to go through the experience yourself. So if you live a rather posh and comfortable life, if you wanted to understand, let's say, what suffering is, it would be much easier for you to manifest someone into your life who is encountering what suffering is. And so you would create a human being who lives under the conditions of suffering. And then you may become their friend, and then this friend will then tell you about their life. And then from there you'll be able to understand what suffering is, without having to actually live it in your own life. And so that way it's a more, I guess, efficient way, and it's a more efficient way to kind of acquire experiences, acquire knowledge, if that's something that you are looking for, if that's something that you want to manifest. So what we don't realize is that we are the ones creating everything. And our creations also then respond in tune and also begin creating. And so on and so on, and this cycle basically continues forever. Because we can't say that, oh, we don't want to manifest. There's always desires, there's always something that we're looking forward to. There's always thoughts that we have, even if we're unaware of them. You may wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about is, oh, I want cinnamon toast. And the minute you have that thought, you've already created it into your physical world. You've already manifested it. You've already put into motions someone, somewhere on this planet, growing the crops needed to create the bread that you are going to eat maybe a month from now in the future. Someone is growing cinnamon so that they can convert it and process it into the jam or the, powder that you like to eat with your toast in the morning. So all these components have already come into play because of a thought that you had. And so once you acknowledge this, the easiest way I found is to acknowledge that your creations take the form of people, of humans. So every person that you come across is a creation either of your doing or of someone else's doing. And once you realize this, then you realize, oh, if there's anything I want in life, I just have to create it, and it will show up to me in the form of a person. So a little exercise that you can try. A good exercise, actually. I can give you a good example of this, which was the first video I ever made that just suddenly blew up overnight, and I was never expecting it to. It was a video I made, it's under my shorts, and it got 100,000 views, I think, in the span of 2 weeks during lockdown. And basically, it was on why introverts hate phone calls. You may have watched it, you may have even come to this video from it, and you stuck around for this long with me on this spiritual journey, then I'm very thankful and grateful to have you. If you're new to this channel, then welcome. But basically, that video, when I made it, I didn't really have any intention as to what that video would entail. I didn't have any intention as to where it's going to go. It was just the first video I ever made because I wanted to kind of get out of my shell. And I'm surprised that it resonated with so many people. And so, if you want to relate that back to this topic of manifestation, you could say that every single person who does anything in life also creates an audience to admire it. So for me, I unconsciously manifested 100,000 people resonating with that video and watching it and commenting on it. To this day, it's still getting traction. For an artist, when they create a work of art, they also then create an audience that admires their creation. And someone who works perhaps a job in which they provide services. In doing so, by learning a particular trade or skill or offering some sort of knowledge, they also create the audience that is going to benefit from their actions. Because the person may want to feel a sense of achievement in helping others, whether or not they're actually making a difference. And so they create people who they will make a difference towards. So manifestation can take place on many levels, I guess is the point of this video. It's not just physical objects that you see in your personal space, but it also includes the living beings that take place around you every single day, which may or may not be to your consciousness. Otherwise, why would we have so many insects on this planet taking care of the ecosystem in a harmonious balance, right? They take care of the environment for us so that we don't have to. And in that sense, then we can just live our lives and enjoy it without ever having to worry about taking care of the environment. All we need to do is just not mess it up, and it will be able to take care of itself. So I hope this video resonates with you all. If it does, appreciate it if you would leave a comment letting me know if there's anything that may have sparked any kind of profound discovery in your thoughts. And if you'd like to support me, please make sure to like and subscribe to help the YouTube algorithm show this video to as many people out there as possible. I also offer one-on-one sessions for those that are interested. The link for that should be in the description box, and you can find out more information on the services that I offer, as well as how you may be able to contact me. If you're interested, the link should be down below, and you can get in touch with me from my website. So, yeah, I hope this video resonates with you all. Beautiful Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you all. Have a wonderful week, day, life, month, year. And I love you all. Peace out.